So, the third trailer for Pokémon Scarlet and Violet was released this week, and we got treated to tons of new information, like great new Pokémon, regional forms, characters, and a promising open world for the first time ever. There is tons to be happy about as a Pokémon fan, and I too am really excited for Scarlet and Violet. However, there is one thing that felt a bit off to me while I was watching the trailer, enough to comment on it in a full video. And it has to do with the two legendaries Koraidon and Miraidon, and how they're overall presented in the games. To be clear, I love their designs. I think they're some of the best legendaries purely in those terms already, and I love the idea of being able to ride a companion through a vast wild area in principle, like we did in Legends Arceus. And to be even more clear, this isn't meant to be taken as an indictment of Scarlet and Violet, and sow doubt or negativity in the community far before the games even come out. However, I just have a few honest issues to express with, again, the way Koraidon and Miraidon specifically seem to be used in the games based off of what we know so far. And I would like to share them in a way that hopefully sheds light on a lot of my core philosophies of how the legendaries and powerful rare Pokemon should be treated that I've expressed in several other videos now. So to lead off, if you've seen the trailer, you know that a big aspect of it was the introduction of Koraidon and Miraidon's bike forms, officially known as the sprinting build or drive mode respectively. We see our player character heading across both the land, sky, and sea on the backs of these Pokemon, who use their appendages and wheel-like bodies to function like motorbikes. This is pretty hyped up in the trailer, as there's not a shortage of shots where these Pokemon pop into the landscape in their bike forms, transform between bikes and gliders, player character encountering them seemingly pretty early on in their journey, or even a long shot of the player character and others through co-op mode all riding their own legendary bikes in unison. Needless to say, this messaging all goes to show us that these Pokemon seem pretty accessible early on in the game, are given to us through a mandatory story beat, are necessary for progression, as you probably need the glider and swimming forms to unlock different parts of the open world, etc. These Pokemon as we know of now are presented as being common, almost accessory-like or item-like companions rather than all-powerful legendaries. Even just seeing them in their bike forms make this seem like they are just goofy toy-like friends rather than godlike beings. And to be clear, that isn't entirely new to the franchise, especially since you can build your team however you'd like. That's the appeal of Pokemon. I have fond memories of being a little kid and pitting my Arceus, Groudon, Darkrai, whatever, in a Wi-Fi battle against my friends, abusing the powers of these legendary Pokemon and watering them down to mere action figures. But that's the difference, those were in Wi-Fi battles. Non-canon, non-scripted events far after you've already built a relationship to these Pokemon in an epic climactic battle and earned their respect. So once you've beaten the game and are pretty much in sandbox mode, who's to say you can't use the legendaries how you'd like? Contrast this to Scarlet and Violet, where again, the goofy, casual novelty of Koraidon and Miraidon isn't a post-game add-on or accessory, but a full-blown cornerstone of the game. It seems like most of the game can either be done, or further must be done, on the backs of these legendaries, literally. Now, I'm not saying that the mere fact that we're seeing legendaries in a more overexposed way from the game's start, or the fact that we're building relationships with non-godlike legendaries is inherently a bad thing. If you're a longtime viewer of the channel, you'll know that that's not true, as I made a video back in early 2021 detailing my theory for different tiers of legendaries, with S tiers being the godlike ones down to the C and D tiers comprising all the merely powerful ones with rarity, cultural significance, or otherwise slight distinction from the average Pokemon without being on the level of Rayquaza, Mew, or Palkia. In fact, it's better for the franchise if that is the case and that variety is present. However, if Koraidon and Miraidon are meant to be seen as not godlike, Pokemon has to commit to that fully. And so far, I have my doubts on that commitment to establish a fresh and believable role for them in universe. That's because inherently having Koraidon and Miraidon being casual ride accessories is just incompatible with their designs. Look at these things. Aside from using their antennae as handlebars and the obvious wheels on the chests, there's nothing about their designs that suggests their role in the Pokemon world should primarily be friendly bikes. They look imposing, intelligent, powerful, and feral, like a classic legendary Pokemon. I could believe that these are meant to be seen as at least semi-godlike Pokemon in the same tier as Darkrai, Cresselia, Latios, and Latias. And could you blame me for thinking that? Because I did. Back when the second trailer was released in June and we got a sweeping, cinematic shot of these two legendaries standing imposingly, close-up shots of their intricate details and a strong emphasis on their themes of rugged, commanding primitiveness and a sleek, intimidating futurism. I know these shots are not a primary source per se, since that was a promotional cutscene and not an in-game one. But it's still messaging regardless. Messaging that was the first impression. And first impressions sure do a lot to inform you on how to feel about someone or something. So if the promotion for these games is essentially telling me right off the bat to respect these Pokemon, to see them as classic legendaries, the same way I saw Xerneas and Yveltal, the same way I saw Zacian and Zamazenta, it's a bit jarring when 2 months later we see them rolling around looking like artificial toys in-game. I don't know. I'm definitely not unhappy with it. Once again, the games aren't even out yet. So it would be ridiculous for me to be unhappy or negative about something that we still don't know the full details of. Once again, I just want Pokemon to commit to something. Whether that's explaining and justifying that in-universe, that these Pokemon are common, they're friendly, and they're traditionally used as mounts or accessories by trainers in the Paldea region. If they take that route, we could see them as true companions, cultural staples of the Paldea region, and it won't be as weird when we play co-op and you see 4 Koraidons folding into bikes at the exact same time, used by 4 different 10-year-old player characters. Or say they go in the opposite direction, and explain that this Pokemon is perhaps similar to Calyrex, once godlike and hyper-intelligent, and it wants to return to its former glory and it needs your help to do so. Perhaps that will be a central crux of Scarlet and Violet's plot or conflict, and why you as the player get to befriend these Pokemon and why you've earned their trust to ride them across the lands. Again, either of these approaches could work, and I'd be equally excited for and happy about either scenario. But my only expectation is that one of these 2 outcomes will be fully committed to and explored, for the sake of Koraidon and Miraidon's reputation, for the Paldea region's lore, and for the ongoing relationship between the player character, the legendary Pokemon, and what makes it special, because so far, I don't think these ambiguous bike forms are cutting it. Thanks for joining me on this shorter exploration of one thing I'm both excited for and very worried about when it comes to Scarlet and Violet. I can't wait to explore these games with you all over the coming months, so expect more videos like this. Shorter videos focused on a single, shorter thought or concept outside of my regular upload schedule. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time for more content.